Brian, what's going on, my friend?
What's up, man? How are you?
I am good. I was just telling my audience how I dropped the ball and forgot, but how excited I am about this interview. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while now. I think it's been about 2 years, truth be told, since I found out about you, and been wanting to get you on this show. Wanting that story because I just want to know why'd you get started, right? Like in my mind, I've built you up as this boxing manager genius, first and foremost. Let me just tell you, I got you as a genius, and I feel like your story could go one or two ways. Like you seen a void in women's boxing and you just started signing every woman you can sign, or you did it for the love of your wife. So I'll let you tell me what's the story.
Well, first off, if I knew you were trying to get a hold of me 2 years ago, I would jump at the chance to do an interview with you because I try to talk as much shit as I can on a regular basis. My wife will tell you I wake her up at night. I talk shit in my sleep. Oh God, I can't stand Rick Ramos. Oh my God. Oh, Jessica McCaskill's terrible. I talk shit all day long. So no, but to be fair, the reason why honestly I got involved with women's boxing is because of my daughter.
Mm.
My daughter's 12. I've been managing females for about 13, 14 years, but I really got deep into it when I seen how the females were treated. They were treated as a sideshow. You get the comments from the promoters, hey, does your fighter look like a 13-year-old boy with a sports bra? We don't want that, that type of thing. So I was like, it's more of like, and a lot of people don't know this. It's more for like women's equality is the kind of the reason why I kind of did it. And everybody like I said, man, I'll joke around, I'll talk shit and things like that, but just the way that they were being treated, back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, females were fighting title fights for 3 grand, and you was supposedly happy to take it. You know what I mean? And be grateful for a spot on the card. So ever since then, man, anybody that needed help, I would sign and I would help everybody. And that's the story. You know what I mean?
But what year did you start? Because I'm gonna go through the list because I know my audience has no clue, and
Yep.
you fill me in on any names that BoxRec may not have. But you had
Start
Candy
start with
Wyatt,
start with
Samara
Melissa Hernandez because that was the first female I ever
from
managed. So
Florida.
well, she was from the Bronx. She was from New York, which she lived in Brooklyn at the time. And I'm trying to remember what our first fight was together, but it was that long ago. I know it was one of the fights. It was the first fight where she beat Jelena Marinovic. So if you can go back and look at that, it's in those type of years is when I first started managing females.
Now,
So it's
some
like
of
I
these
said,
women I haven't seen, but most of them I have, which is again what struck my interest. Like Candy Wyatt, I know. Samara Woods, I know. Shelly Vincent,
So
obviously we know.
that first fight, that was 2011. So yeah, about
yeah,
12 years ago.
yeah. So there you go. So I managed her probably like a year or so before that. So 12, 13 years I've been in the game. You know what I mean?
And you even have Mary Spencer.
Yeah, yeah. I got
Bro,
that little kid.
you're everywhere. I'm Melissa Odessa.
Hold on,
I
hold on, hold
love
on, hold
Melissa.
on. When he said Mary's name, you're like, yeah, like
I mean, cause
Yeah, well,
she
I
suffered
had
a
that little
loss
kid.
like a fight ago.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know about that loss. Is believe it or not, man. So it was in Canada. Obviously, she fought Femke Hermans, and
Mm-hmm.
she had COVID, but nobody knew. We didn't find out till after the fight. It's like she weighed in, and then the next day because she wasn't eating a lot. I said, "Yo, let me see how much you weigh now," and she like lost 2 pounds, which I thought was funny. And then I seen her warming up in the back. She's hitting the pads, but she's breathing a little heavy, which you know what I'm saying, like it was just peculiar to me. So after the fight and the way she looked, she got tested for she had COVID. I mean, that's no excuse. I mean, not taking anything away from Femke. She's a sweetheart. She's a hell of a fighter, and she deserved to win, obviously. But yeah, no, Mary had COVID. So we're doing the rematch for the IBF and IBO in October.
So I wanted to ask you specifically to the rematch because obviously this is gonna be, Mary's first fight since suffering the loss, but Femke's been active. Any concern there?
So if you look at Mary's activity level, right? Mary has been super active, and Mary's no young chicken, right? Mary's what, 38, 39 years old. So I
Hmm.
think her body was being pushed maybe a little bit too much. Her promotional company, Ida Tiger, who done a wonderful job promoting her. They spared no expense. Mark Ramsey is the head of operations there, and they did an amazing job with her, bringing her up and getting her the fights that she needed to get. I just think she was a little tired, man, and we'll see in October. Maybe she just can't beat Femke. That's just some of those fighters can't beat those kind of fighters,
I'm
and,
gonna
and it
be
is what it is.
real. I watched that fight. I think it's she's just got to go back to the drawing board. I feel she fell in love with her power. Let's be real. She was a puncher, and she kept trying to knock this girl out. Like at some point, you got to box.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but
Agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
yeah,
I agree
that's
with you.
how I looked at it.
Yeah,
But outside of that, you got Melissa Odessa Parker. I don't know what happened with her because I've been following her for at least 2-3 years,
yeah.
and she had like a year of inactivity. Then when I look, she got a loss. She just lost in Texas. Like what the hell happened?
So again, I'm gonna tell you what happened. She fought Sharita Metcalf, who again, I love Sharita.
Isn't
I've
that
spoken
Slim
to
Goody?
if that's what you want to call it. Yeah,
No,
I
but that's her
suppose.
name. But that's her name,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah,
girl that
yeah,
hangs
yeah.
with Terrence Crawford, right?
Some people call her ass, some people call her chicken. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? It was one of those fights. It was one of those nights, I'll say, right? One of those nights that like when you're watching, I was there, obviously, right? And I'm watching all the other fights, and everybody who I thought won was either catching a draw or losing. So, I'm sitting there, me and my wife was sitting there, Kaylee, and we're sitting there, we're watching the first round, and we have that clock in our head. So she said to me, she says, "Does this round seem long to you?" And I said, "Yeah, it does actually." So I go to the timekeeper. I was like, "Yo, what's the time?" He was like 2:40. I said, "They females." I said, "Ring the bell." They're not fighting 3-minute rounds. They're fighting
Wow.
2-minute rounds, right? The judges were there. I don't know the judge's name, and I don't even know if I would say it here, but I would say it if I knew his name. I don't really care. But he's checking his cell phone during the fight.
So
Um,
hold on. We could figure that out, right? Because there's three judges. You had Manuel Chopper, who had a
uh-huh,
75-77. You had
right,
Hector Gonzalez, who had it 74-78. And then you
right.
had David Ayobuchi, who had it a draw.
Damn. So it
And to
was
be,
tight scores.
it
It was a
was,
majority
but
draw decision, yep.
if you would have seen the fight though, like I swear, and
Majority
again,
decision.
this is nothing against Sharita, man. She didn't land a punch for the first 3 rounds. She
Wow.
was, Melissa's defense was on point, and she was the aggressor, right? And she was effective. So, what do you score fights on? Effective aggressiveness, defense, and controlling the ring. And I feel like Melissa did that the whole fight. I did say to Melissa's corner that the judging tonight is very off, and whether they took it to account or didn't take it into account. Because if I'm not in the corner, I'm not in the corner. I don't like to disrupt things. Trainers got their own thing, so I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really, get involved in that. But I will say, because of the judge, and I don't know, like you said, you did name the three judges. I just don't know which one it was. One of them was checking their cell phone during the fight, and as far as the timekeeping. So I did file a protest. So I have a protest pending, and I never do that. Never file a protest. I just think that the shit was really off. The whole night though, everything was off. So I did file a protest, and I have a protest pending.
Now she's fighting this Friday on the zone in TJ against
Bruh.
Erica Cruz.
I hope I'm not getting in your business. I'm not saying this statement to get an answer, but I hope you gotta pay because Cruz is tough. Isn't that the Cruz's
Yup.
aunt? That's the
Yeah.
aunt of Isaac Cruz, the girl that fought Amanda Serrano, right?
Yup.
Yeah, that's the same girl. I mean, she can
She
fight.
tough.
But the thing is, man, you got to remember, Melissa. When I presented the fight to Melissa, Melissa wants to fight some of the best females out there, and Cruz is a good fighter, and Melissa has a lot of testicular fortitude, and which means she's got big balls. So she's going into the girl's backyard and wants to fight, man. I can present the fights. They can tell me if they want it, they don't want it. I can give my opinion. And at the end of the day, if they're not putting herself in too much danger, then I'm gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. She's got to go to Tijuana for that one, right?
Yeah, man, we gotta fly into San Diego and cross the border, mama. Yeah,
But let
yeah.
me finish giving you some props here because I don't know what happened to this girl, but I'm excited whenever she does come back. Hopefully, you're not going to tell me that she's retired and has a family now. But I'm not going to butcher her name. But they call her like Baby Tyson. She's trains up in
Oh,
Albany.
yo,
Oh
that
no, no,
listen,
no, Brian! Why are you making that face?
brother, brother, that girl is an utter nightmare.
Ah,
She's a nightmare. She's a nightmare to deal with. She's a nightmare to put in fights. I'm sorry, my
so
language.
she's
She's a
not
fucking.
accepting fights?
She's a nightmare. She's a nightmare.
Damn.
Just a nightmare, man. Like she got thrown out of the gym that she was in. Then I guess her old manager took a hold of her Instagram account. She was sparring with Bumgardner. Um, she's a nightmare, man. Otherwise, like you said, like I would have the match.
Bumgarner, I interviewed Bumgarner and she said she was great work for that fight. What fight she said she got it ready for?
I don't even remember.
Oh,
Uh,
ain't terrible.
yeah, I know it wasn't the Christina fight because truth be told, my name is coming off of there soon. I sold her contract.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got rid of her contract, and like I said, it's just if I can't vibe with a fighter, I can't. I just can't deal with you, man. Like I have fighters that call me if they have guy problems, rent problems, any kind of problems. I'm supposed to be open enough that you can call me. Her, I just I can't. I just can't deal with. Just can't deal with.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, the next one that I'm excited about and making a lot of waves is Liana Cruz.
Woo! Woo! That's my boxing daughter. That's what me and my wife call her. That's our boxing daughter. That girl is a star. That girl is special. We got presented a fight to fight Jasmine Artiga on the upcoming show in September, but she's not an opponent, in my opinion, man. She's a main eventer, and I don't need to throw her to somebody in her hometown just to make a quick payday or a quick dollar off of her because she doesn't deserve it, man. That girl deserves to be in the spotlight. That girl's going to be a star. Trust me.
Nah, she definitely has the look. She fights like it. She takes the time to do nice ring outfits. Yeah,
So,
you got some big names, man. Go ahead.
so you think she's ready to be main eventing already? 6-0.
I mean, 4-0.
I
His
mean,
other fighter, Ebony Bridges, went for a title shot.
Well, no, no, I'm
yeah.
just yeah. I feel like Ebony definitely, had a larger
I
audience.
mean, larger Instagram following.
Well,
At the
if you go
time,
back,
at the time of Ebony's fight, she just had a following on Instagram for selling socks, bro. I do this shit for a living. I'm on top
hundred
of her.
percent.
I'm on top
100%.
of
And don't be on top of her now. That's my fighter. No.
her.
So she was living with us at the time because she couldn't get
What?
back. Yeah, she lived with us because she couldn't, that was during COVID. So she couldn't go back to
I seen
Australia.
her
So she,
training in Philly. I didn't know she was living
yeah,
with you. Okay, so you're a
yeah,
good
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, man. So I opened my house up to some of these fighters, man, because in the women's game, they don't have money for the Airbnbs and to do all this other crazy, crazy stuff, man. So I built an apartment for fighters,
Mm.
in my house, so that what I'm saying is just totally secluded, So she was here for during COVID. She couldn't get back to Australia. She was here for 7 months.
Wow.
So yeah, man. But
That stepped
listen,
her game up though, because I seen your wife working with her a lot, sparring with her, and then she won a bunch of fights.
yeah, yeah. And let me tell you something, man. I would leave for the gym early in the morning because I would go train a couple people and then they would come and I'd leave the house, everything be good, and then that would be a sparring day and they would work. Yo, man, it looked like somebody broke somebody's favorite glass the way that they would go at each other. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It was really good work. And to me, I think Eb looked the best while she was here. She has some trainers in the UK, which, I think she has another one. But I love Eb. Eb always said I'm her best trainer. So it's like, when it comes to women's boxing, I used to have to do it all. Train, manage. I do the cuts in the corners for the fighters, and I don't charge them, to do cuts and things like that. You know what I mean? So I've been doing it since I was a kid. I started, boxing when I was 8 years old. So I've been around this game for a minute.
What's the latest and greatest with Ebony? We haven't seen her obviously since the rematch with Shannon Courtney
Right. So
or
she
Shannon
left her
O'Connell.
trainer. Yeah. So she had a hand injury. She had to get, I think it was part of her hip put in her hand, or you know what
Damn.
I mean, some Mr. Potato Head move that they did. Put one part on with another. So she was recovering from that. She left her trainer, which was Mark Tibbs, and I think she moved to a whole other section of England. And I think she's trying to adjust to her new trainer right now. And I actually have to give her a call today to
Who's
check.
the new guy?
This guy Dave, I'm really not familiar
Codwell?
with him. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow. Okay. He used
yeah.
to train Derek Chisora.
Yeah, that's right. So she's been working with him, and again, man, training Derek Chisora and training Ebony Bridges is like
Two
having
different
a cat.
things.
Yeah. So
He also had David Hay though. I'm pretty sure he had David Hay for a couple fights or one or two fights, something like that.
right. So you got to remember too,
But that's
that's
another
heavyweight.
heavyweight.
That's heavyweights, right? So, but that doesn't mean that he's not knowledgeable and he doesn't, he can't contribute to Eb's arsenal or toolbox. To be fair. So I just don't know how it's going because I haven't really spoken to her in a minute. So, but it's nothing. We don't have no beef. It's just sometimes she's a little busy and I'm ripping. I just got back from Alaska, so
So
Alaska.
yeah.
yeah, I forgot you told me that when I was trying to lock you in.
What you recruiting a fighter out there?
Hey man, there's some. No, actually, we're going to sponsor. Me and my wife are going to sponsor this guy. His name is Thomas. He does strongman competitions, but we were out there for her job. We went on a little getaway to get to know Alaska. So we went to three different parts. We went to Anchorage, we went to Nome, and we went to Kotzebue. And she
Okay.
killed some salmon. She went fly fishing. We hung out. It was nice.
Brian, man, baby steps here. That first that first contract, who helped you with that? Because what were you doing before that? Before you were a boxing manager?
I was boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Okay. Were you
boxing.
a pro?
I was 15-2 with 14 knockouts. I won
Oh
the
shit.
WBC Continental title. Yeah, and I pretty much managed myself. My dad was a boxing manager. He had guys. Well, actually, he's being inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame on the end of the month. Buster Drayton, he was the IBF former junior middleweight champion. He had Philly guys like Anthony Witherspoon, Tyrone Crawley, Gary Hinton. He managed a lot of local guys here in Philly. So I've been in the boxing gym since I was a baby, man. Like I
Mm.
remember I was a little kid having to sit on, guys doing sit-ups feet. You know what I mean? So I've been around boxing my entire life. That's all I've done.
In terms
So
of manager though, any mentors, or you just jumped in it 2 feet in and learned on your own?
my dad, I would listen to my dad, but my dad is an old school, he's the punch you in the face real quick type of old school type of guy, man. And in this day and age, you can't do none of that crazy stuff. I paid attention a lot. There was a matchmaker, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, named Johnny Boz.
Mm-mm.
Johnny Boz was if anybody who remembers boxing back in like the 80s and 90s, man, he was probably one of the smartest matchmakers you ever wanted to meet. Like he match made the guy by the name of Joey Gamach to a title, and
Wait,
you
Joey
know
Gamach is the trainer of Odo Wallin.
right.
And he
So
helped
so
Tio win the via Vasil Lomachenko fight.
Right.
And to be fair, I wish Joey would be back with Tio because I think Joey is a great trainer. I think Joey is an excellent trainer. But yeah, Joey was what? Joey was from like Lewiston, Maine, or something like that. And what fighter comes out of Lewiston, Maine? And the guy Johnny Boz, like I said, man, I pay attention. I paid attention. Even when I was boxing and fighting on cards, I just paid attention, and I taught. I had access to a lot of great managers and a lot of great trainers. So I always just paid attention. Like I said, I would hear my dad. But I have to filter some things out because it wouldn't fly today or back when I started managing. But I always just really paid attention.
Have you ever signed a male? And if not, why not? Why do you only have a roster of females?
Mm. Excuse me. So no, I used to have males as well. I used to have a
Okay.
lot of the guys that fought in the Golden Gloves in New York. I had a kid. he was a hell of a prospect named Steven Martinez. He won the Golden Gloves multiple times in New York. Luis Cruz. I had Edgar
Yeah,
Santana.
did Steven become a pro and fight on Top
Yo,
Rank cards?
so Steven, yeah,
Okay.
Steven was, yeah. And I love Steven. You know what I'm saying? It just got to the point where, Steven got a job and he got a real good plumbing job, which, he has a family he had to take care of. And, sometimes that dedication comes from the gym, goes away from the gym more towards the job. And you start training only when you have a fight. And that doesn't work. It's basically like, like Mike Tyson said, you start becoming civilized. When you start becoming civilized, you lose that hunger. You lose a little bit. And like I said, then I had Edgar Santana. Nobody wanted to touch Edgar Santana when he came out of jail. I had him. I had him to an NABO title. I had Cornelius Locke at one time. Cornelius Locke fought Mikey Garcia. I did have guys. I have a guy right now, actually, Josephat Ortiz,
Oh,
from
okay,
Philly.
from Philly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
What's up?
don't
When did
not.
you get with him? Because man, I've been knowing Joseph Fott for a minute now. He's going
Yeah.
slow.
Well, he signed. He signed to DeBella, so I
Uh,
have to go at a promoter's pace. To be fair, right?
yeah.
He fought. He caught that L, and then he switched trainers. So now he's being trained by Wahid Rahim, who I know from when I. Oh, I'm sorry. I used to train Eric Hunter too, Outlaw
Okay.
from
I
Philly.
know Eric Hunter.
Yeah, so I knew Wahid through Outlaw, and now Josephat trains with Wahid, which Wahid is a great trainer, man, and he was always a student of the game, and I like him because he's kind of old school like myself, and when you're old school, that means like you follow like a kind of a chain of command, meaning like I don't overstep my bound when it comes to training. You know what I'm saying? Like if I think the fight is good, I bring it to Wahid. Wahid will bring it back to me, and you know what I mean. That sort of thing. And I think it's starting to lose. Boxing is starting to lose that today. You know what I'm saying? Like you got matchmakers and promoters hitting your fighter up on Instagram or Facebook, or it's just mad disrespectful. You know what I
Mm.
mean? If you know the fighter, my name is connected to my fighters. Just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's mad disrespectful. I just that's like one of my pet
So
peeves.
you go through that often. Your fighters
Yeah,
being contact because I thought that was illegal. I mean, we see Leonard Ellerby come out on Twitter and tell Eddie Hearn every day that that's illegal to contact his fighters.
it is. It's actually torturous interference and collusion. But if you look at Leanne's some of her posts, you'll see people. Oh, you got to get you in the bare knuckle fighting and contact me. So that was one of the quote unquote female matchmakers for bare knuckle boxing, and I know personally David Feldman. So I called David up. I'm like, "Yo, David, can you shut this down for me?" Oh, sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, so but I know, obviously David from Philly. I actually fought on a card that his brother promoted, Damon. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah.
So, just so people know, we stopped at Liana Cruz. The
Mm.
next big name, obviously Jessica.
Wait a minute. Hold on. To your point with the Leanna Cruz thing, when my man asked me if do I think she's ready to main event, I had a girl. You look her up. Her name is Alicia Napoleon. She main evented at
Oh,
5-0.
damn, that was yours too, bro.
Yeah. I still have her.
But how do you do that? How is it that you got all the top names? It don't make. It's like you got a monopoly, and I don't mean to disrespect, but it's like you got all the
No.
good females.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's how I treat people, man. I treat people like I treat, especially females, man. That's somebody's daughter. That might be somebody's mother. That's somebody's aunt. I treat them with respect. You know what I'm saying? And they feel comfortable with me because I I believe in karma, right? If God forbid, if I'm not here, I would love for somebody to take care of my daughter the way I'm taking care of people. And literally, I don't advertise. Come get managed by me. It's all word of mouth type of things.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But to that point, Napoleon 5-0. She fought for the WBC silver, and she main evented in I think it was Queens, New York.
So is she
So
done?
Um,
so
Because it's like after her loss and marriage and child, she's like you said, domesticated.
right.
Is she
So
done?
no, she's actually training. Her weight's down. You know, when you have a baby, I mean, you start eating and doing all that other crazy stuff. Her weight is down, and I believe that we're going to put her on a card October. It's either 26th or 27th. I think it's the 26th, which is a Thursday in Hell's Kitchen in New York at Sony Hall. So she's ready to fight again, and she should be able to jump right back into it because there's,
At 60 or 68?
nah, that's too big for her, and I've said that to her before. And the only reason why she fought for the 68 title was because that was the only one that was available at the time. And when she would fight for that title, I would always do a catch weight of like 61 or 62 because she's not a 68 pounder, so she's going to start at 54. But I would love for her to go down to 47 if possible.
Damn, fight with her and Mariciela Cornejo would be good. Mariciela's at 47 now.
Yeah. They were supposed to fight back in the day. They had some beef, some issues, some, I don't know. Maricela posted some sparring things back in the day. So I would welcome that fight. I love Maricela. I think she did a hell of a job stepping in against Clarissa. But that's the WBC's favorite fighter. So
Hell yeah.
you know
But
what
I
I mean?
mean, you know her managers. Let me shut up.
Who's her manager?
Never mind.
Nah, come on now. No, you can't do that.
Ryan. So
Huh.
let me ask you. So
No,
with
who's the
Leanna,
manager?
so with Leanna, right?
Nancy. I
Oh,
believe Nancy is, right? That's who I see represent her all the time.
I mean that's the thing. If you just go back and which is fine, man. It's
But
there's
I mean,
all
to be fair, that's like you getting a job now with the WBC or the WBO or any sanctioning body for that matter. Like Nancy was working with her before she got her position with the WBC. So it's like you too, right? Like if you get picked up by ESPN, motherfucker, you better make it easier for me over here.
but how long did she have that job with the WBC?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. I've been knowing Nancy at least 13 years.
Okay.
Somewhere in
So
that time, she went from just doing what she was doing to now also working with the WBC.
so when she fought when Maricela fought Kaylee in New Zealand, Nancy was with her. So that's a minute ago, right? So
Damn.
she's been fighting for WBC titles way back when. You know what I'm saying? So which like I said, man, listen, if
I
you
mean,
got that little
But to be fair, so is Melissa Hernandez. Between you and Sarafina, I don't think no girl in history got more title shots than Melissa Hernandez.
So I think I got Melissa. What she had one of and at the time the WIBA was that was a highly recognized title. She had a WBA something or another title, and she fought for one more title with me too. When Sarafina got her, I mean, let's be honest, and Sarafina works with me now, so I can't say too much because I don't want to get that phone call from Sarafina because that shit could
Shout
be
out to
bad
her.
venom.
Congratulations. I'm happy that she got a job.
Yeah,
I've been seeing her do her thing, without help from a big manager like you and Split T for a while.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I kind of love working with her. She's feisty. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Everybody knows how feisty she is, but she's very teachable. And like if you say things to her and it makes sense, she listens. So I kind of love working with her. Like we just signed that girl over to Split T.
Brown is the
Tierra
one.
Brown.
Tierra Brown. That's the one I was going to next.
Yeah.
Elham, no, the girl Elham, the girl
Yeah,
from
I
France.
seen that as well.
Right, so she had her, and she didn't want to sign, so we got creative with the contract and things like that. And she moved her over, so it's like I said, by the time Sarah got Melissa Hernandez, Melissa's a little past her prime. She's a little past her sell by date, which is fine. You know what I mean? She just lost to my other girl, Carla Torres.
But
Melissa.
that's why I value what Sarah does because, like you said, by the time she got her hands on Melissa, she shouldn't have been getting a title shot, and somehow she still put it. I think it was a Katie Taylor fight. What was that?
Chantel Cameron in Vegas.
That's biggest. How the fuck, man?
That was on the I think on the Haney Linares,
Bruh,
Haney
then,
JoJo.
then she got Bamba, one of the influencers. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
how
yeah,
are
yeah,
you doing that
yep,
shit?
yep.
Like, that
Yo,
dude,
Sarah.
Paul Bamba.
Yeah, yo, Sarah's a hustler, yo.
Nah,
like she's a hustler.
Bruh,
She's a hustler.
look,
And not in a bad way. I don't mean that negative. Like she hustles. You know what I'm
didn't
saying?
she put Dominic Wade in the? I don't know. I don't want to give her credit for that. She might have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought she put Dominic Wade in that Triple G fight a bunch of years ago.
Yeah, no, listen, man. Sarah's a hustler, man. I'm glad that she works with us now. A lot of people, everybody gonna say something about somebody, right? Everybody gonna say something about me, something about her. You know, somebody's gonna have something negative to say, regardless. But I love working with her, man. She's real. She's real. She's real. Sarah's real. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah,
Brian, but I did want to, before we move too far past and I forget. So with Leanna, you
yeah.
would main it. No, 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 no.
Who you got for Leanna? He
No,
trying to
nah,
matchmake.
nah,
What's
nah,
going on?
nah, bro. Because he mentioned who'd you mention that was 5-0? That was headlining. Alicia
Alicia
Napoleon,
Napoleon.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he mentioned how specifically she was headlining local. So I was gonna ask, is Leanna gonna be in Allentown or in the PA area
No, she does.
specifically?
She does the 2300 arena, right?
Yeah, so she does the 2300 arena, which we're gonna bring her back November 10th to fight. Hopefully, I can get her for like a little NABF title, but she'll be the co-main event to Sonny Kanto. And then, like I said, man, she's a great ticket seller. That
Is
fight on this,
Kanto? I'm
yeah,
sorry. Is he still with Top Rank?
yeah, Sonny signed with Top Rank.
Wow.
Yeah, Sonny signed with Top Rank. I think he has a few more years left with them. And again, I've known Sonny since man, he wasn't even a Bronco. He was a little mini horse, right? He was about 120 little pounds, skinny little kid in the gym. So with Split T, I mean, I deal with him a lot. I actually, we have a camp house in New Jersey. It's a 50-acre camp house.
Whoa.
It has a little mansion part where it's a beautiful house. It has saltwater pool, but also we converted a horse arena. It's about 8,000 square foot to a boxing gym. Like it's state of the art. Everything is state of the art there. And on the facility, we converted a horse barn to living quarters for sparring partners. So he's going to start camp there on Monday for November 10th.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't just, and that's the thing. I organize a lot of that construction and things like that that happened at that house because my background was in construction at one point as well. So, yeah, I don't. I'm not just. I wear many hats. I wear many hats.
For sure. So
Yeah,
Tierra Brown, bro, she's been like the. I don't want to give her the boots tag because I already gave that to Shadazy Green, but she's certainly this unsigned talent that now got
yeah.
signed. This dark horse that everybody thinks can beat everybody in the division. How difficult is it going to be to get her fights? Because cool, she got a manager now, but can you get her fights?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, she was signed to a manager that really, in my opinion, was inadequate for her. Meaning, buying fights in at fucking El Pollo Loco in some obscure country did nothing for her. It didn't move the needle at all. You know what I mean? In her last three or four fights, did nothing for her.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Now,
two of those were no star fights. What the hell?
no star fights, and that doesn't get you nowhere. And I like to use the phrase where a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't play checkers, I play chess." I don't play either because I play Monopoly, right? So Monopoly meaning, motherfucker, you're gonna land on my boardwalk eventually, right? And I think she's about Tierra's about at the 4 yard line. All she needs is a little screen pass to get into that end zone, and I'm here to throw that to her. To
Nas
be
don't
honest
know
with
shit about
I
football, but
don't. I only
I
watch this sport.
understood. I understood everything you saying, but Brian, sometimes when you right there, you just hand the ball to Marshawn, just like hand it off.
you.
You're right. No, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking.
You
So
handed to Marshawn at the 4 yard line. You guaranteed. You're right.
I may not
You're right.
know football, but I know these women, and I'm very happy you signed Miss Brown. I mean, I lived in Florida for a little bit, and she's a officer out there in Fort Myers. She trains at a gym I used to visit, and she just needs that opportunity, man. I've been hearing only good things about her, and seeing, I got to see her spar once, and man, I'm excited to see what she can do on that high level. See if that power is real too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. And to be fair, a lot of these females have PTSD from signing with managers, right? So me and Tierra, I've known Tierra for years, and her and I spoke about me managing her quite a few times, right? Then she signed with Luigi, the guy that has Maureen Shea.
Oh,
You know, eh, yeah, I know, yeah. That's exactly how
How
I
though?
feel
But
about it.
Marie Shea ain't for. I mean, you talking about the girl from New York, right?
Yeah, the girl from New York who has over 30 fights and never won a world title.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
has,
Yo, but
the
she
only
made her
other.
name. Look, she was great at marketing. Let's be real. She made a name for herself, like you said. Without a world title, I know her. The boxing
Hmm.
public knows her. Didn't she
Hmm.
get Isn't her nickname Million Dollar Baby or some shit?
Yeah, because I think she trained Hillary Swank for the
Yeah,
car,
for the movie.
for the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, for
She
the movie, right?
capitalized off that little movie.
Right, right, right. So if you look at it, man, a guy like Luigi, he didn't have to do much with her because, like you just say, you knew her,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she didn't win a world title. The only other two really world champions he had was Alicia Ashley, who, she's a legend. I ain't going, I'm not going to knock that, but I don't think really he had anything to do with it. And he had Jennifer Hahn at one point, which she had the IBF title, which she never really made a dime with Luigi. Again, checkers, chess, monopoly,
Mm.
right? The most money she made is when she left Luigi and fought Katie Taylor, obviously, right? So whatever Tierra's reason and whatever Luigi said for those two getting together for a year or 4 fights or whatever the contract was, hey, more power to him. But he couldn't do shit for her. He'll never be able to do shit for her. And I think he's a shit manager.
Mm. Well, since we talk about managers, I mean, you came in shooting shots at Rick Ramos. What's the beef there?
I don't like when you talk about females, right?
What
I
exactly?
don't
In
like.
what way? What do you mean?
So I don't like when you do, like, if you never got in the ring or never got punched in the face or never got hit with a body shot that makes you want to piss your pants, or the next morning you ain't waking up and your nose is sore and your jaw is realigned. Don't talk shit. Leave it to the females to talk shit. Don't talk shit about my wife. Don't talk shit about Mary McGee. Don't talk shit about any of my fighters. When you do that, you get smacked in the face, and that's what happened to him when I ran into him in England. He got smacked in the face.
What?
Oh yeah, this
I
is
mean,
not
you
an
do
urban
look
legend.
cocky. I've been doing my research. You do look like you fucking bodybuilding
Hold up,
shit
hold
in a.
up, hold up, hold up. What happened, Brian?
So we
I
were
mean, he said he
in.
talked about his wife, so I mean, obviously it's some personal shit.
Well, you're talking about, but it's not even that. Like, don't disrespect my fighters. Don't, like, I go hard for my fighters. I like, again, it's not just we signed a contract. You're with me. That's the end of it. If you talk shit about my fighters, yeah, it might be business, but I take it personal because, again, I'm gonna reiterate the fact that's somebody's mother. That could be that's somebody's daughter, obviously. Don't talk shit about them if you can't
You
fight.
think he gonna deny this? Holy shit!
Oh no, you can patch him in.
No, no, I'm saying you think he'll deny it?
Oh, no, because he posted it that he got punched in the face. I think I got the screenshot of one of his little
Oh
Twitter joints.
shit!
I'll send it to you.
When
It's
when when,
somewhere.
when was
But
this?
what did he say?
Uh,
Because honestly, I see. You gonna hate this. He gonna hate this. But I see Ramos as like the next you, bro. Like who else got that many females? And he doing his thing to come out of nowhere. Let's give him some credit. He came out of nowhere. He got an undisputed champ. He signed a bunch of females. He got the pop in his gym in Chicago, right? Am I lying?
I
Uh-oh,
mean,
Danny.
that's like getting a free bowl of soup at the soup kitchen. Like, yeah, I
Damn.
mean, I mean, look at the females he signed and look where they fight and look who they fight. It doesn't mean when you manage a fighter and you try to position them in the best way, uh fighting fights in fucking Boise, Idaho, or fighting fights in Kalamazoo, that doesn't do anything for a fighter fighting against, 1 in 29, Karen Doolan's of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does nothing for your fighters. So he signed a bunch of fighters.
I
So
mean,
what? Rick Ramos, we'll call Rick Ramos my stunt double because he's trying to marry his fighter too. We'll call him my stunt double.
but Brian, hold on. Yo,
Yo,
this guy's a
yo,
comedian. Yo, but
wow.
hold on, Brian. And I'm a Chicago guy. I'm gonna throw that out there. But yo, I was following Jessica before her and Rick was even a thing, right? Like I've been
Yeah.
following Jessica. You can't tell me that those bullshit fights don't get you nowhere. It got her undisputed. Now, granted, it took for Rick to talk a lot of fucking shit to be able to get a Katie Taylor opportunity. And then, more opportunities came from that. But yo, she was fighting at the fucking Horseshoe in Hammond, Indiana.
Well, you have to. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. I'm not saying that you know in your third or fourth fight you fighting. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting a fucking world champion or ex world champion. Although I've done that with O'Shea Jones, but we can get to that later in her second fight.
That's another one I
But
forgot, bro. You got so many.
right,
I don't get it
right.
though. That's crazy.
So, so you know, and I appreciate the fact that you're from Chicago, but like, I just with
No, I
Rick,
get what you're
for
saying, though. I get what you're saying. You're saying
yeah,
you're just saying if that's all you fight, then that's not gonna get you anywhere. I get
no,
it. I thought you were
it's
just
not
saying
like
like at all, like if you get those kind of fights at all.
What's your thoughts on
no,
Summer Lynn that just turned to a
I'm pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say she walked up.
firefighter, but he had her to what 7-0. She couldn't get the TV fight she needed, and she walked away from the sport.
I think it's unfortunate, and I think that he sells these women a dream that they'll be fighting on the zone and they'll be fighting here and be fighting there. But listen, man, I've been to Eddie Hearn's house. I know how Eddie feels about him and the rest of things like that, right? I'm just not the dude to post pictures with Eddie in the car with Eddie. Like to me, he just does a lot of shit to hustle people, and but you can't hustle a real motherfucker that knows the game. And I know the game inside. I could, whatever I forgot yesterday, he'll never know. He'll honestly never know. Like, and for
Is
him
there a
to
fight?
aspire,
Is there a
huh?
fight that could be made to settle this? I mean, this just sound like
Oh
some.
yeah, I tried to make it. Bobby Hits. I contacted Bobby Hits.
So
So
what fight
Bobby
you
Hits is
want?
a. I wanted to fight Rick. What you mean?
Oh
Holy
shit!
shit,
I'm thinking you talking about one of
bro!
your
What the
females.
fuck? So
What
you
you
called
mean? Yeah.
Bobby? You called Bobby trying to make a fight between you and
And then
Rick?
Bobby called me, and yo, my thing is, listen, he
So
could pick
did
the
Rick turn
charity.
it? Did you send him a contract or something?
Bobby tried to get a hold of him, and then I don't know what happened. But yo, listen, I'll put this out here. And yo, I won't train one day for that fight. I'll donate whatever is raised to whatever charity anybody wants, just so I could beat his ass again. So I'm gonna tell you what happened in England. I was sitting in the booth. It was media day. We were announcing a 140-pound tournament. So I had Mary McGee there. I had my wife there. Jessica Camara was running a little late, and he had talked shit about this whole tournament. And I think it was when Katie Taylor. I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was the day before Katie Taylor was fighting Jennifer Hahn. It was on that card because there was a lot of people.
Bro,
Damn, what's
where
that
is
guy?
Rick at? Rick
Yo,
usually in
yo,
the
Pat,
chat too. That's crazy. Where
yo,
Rick?
patch him in because
Nah,
so
he's
so so
MIA.
my yo patch him in because if you bring him up here and he denies it, I'll catch a flight to what's his face and smack the shit out of him again. So I'm sitting there
Jesus.
talking to Eddie. I'm sitting there talking to Eddie and my wife, and so my wife goes, "Oh, yeah, there goes your boy," and I didn't see him. I was like, "Oh," so I put my phone on the table, and Eddie said to my wife, "Where's he going?" He was like, "This is not going to be good." She said, "This is not going to be good, Eddie." So following him, he went up to go the wrong stairway. He came back down. He looked at me. He was like, "Oh, what's up?" and put his hand out. I was like, "Yo, I'm
Oh
not going to shake
shit.
your hand." Yeah. So he had his right hand out, and I'm looking him face to face, and I smacked him with my left hand. And he says he took, stumbled backwards, dropped his little stupid papers and whatever he had in his hand, and he says, "That's assault. I'm calling the police." And the motherfucker called the police on me.
In
So that's
England?
what happened. Yeah.
What happened?
So Eddie came to me. He said, "Mate," he said, "What are you doing?" He was like, but he was like, wait.
Oh man. Go
To
ahead.
be
I'm
fair,
sorry.
and that's why, like, I know the real feelings about him from the people in Matchroom because a lot of the people, executives, you know what I'm saying, were happy I did it, right? So the cops came and they just told me I can't smack nobody no more while I'm in England. So I said,
Yo,
no
that's the
problem.
beauty of England. They don't mind a couple of bar fights, bro. It's crazy. Over
Mm-mm.
here, you'll get
No,
arrested for that.
right.
Right.
Then the security, I'm really good with all the matchroom security. So I think Jessica was there, so she was going to call out Katie Taylor during the press conference. And I just told the matchroom security, I said, yo, just give me 7-second head start if they start talking shit about Katie. And then but he never said nothing, and Jessica never showed up to the press conference. And that's fact. That's fact. I could tell the same story over and over because I'm not lying.
I want to show you something here. Let me see where
Brian,
is it.
I'm curious. Were you southpaw or orthodox?
He's
I
southpaw. He
used
smacked
to.
him with the left.
No.
I could
But when he
switch. I
fought,
used to. No, so I was ambidextrous when I was younger, so I could
What's
write with my
listed
right and
on your
left hand.
box rack?
well, nothing. That's what I'm
Orthodox,
asking.
baby, but there ain't nothing orthodox about me.
I wanted to show you this.
Yeah, I
Can you
can't
see?
see that shit. You
No,
see
let me
my
zoom.
glasses? How big
Let me
they are,
zoom in.
bro?
Let me zoom in. I zoomed in now. This is Serrano on her Instagram story responding to an interview that Rick Ramos did where she says, with all due respect, Rick Ramos, he is incorrect on this one. I could care less about Katie Taylor. I'm past her. I'm actually making more money than any other female boxer today, including Katie. So I don't really need her. I want to stop there because I'm almost calling Kat. Is she really making more than Katie and Clarissa? And obviously, you being a manager, you should know.
Yeah, she's getting paid really well. Listen, man,
Wow.
a lot of people think that me and Jordan have beef, which we just had two
Jordan
really
is
good
her
fighters.
husband,
Trainer.
manager, trainer.
Yeah, manager,
Husband.
trainer. Yeah, hey man,
Hey,
listen. You know
wait
what
a
I
minute.
mean?
Wait a minute. How do you not like that, but you did it first?
No, I
Because
didn't.
look, he just made him. He made fun of Rick. He's like, yeah, he trying to marry his fighter. And now you laughing at Jordan.
Well, then I'll be Jordan's stunt double. You know what I mean? But no. I think Jordan is supposed to be with Cindy. I don't know anything. I'm just commenting on, the job that Jordan did.
Oh.
So,
So I got the wrong. Okay, I thought.
See, you over here being
yeah. No,
messy, man.
yeah. So Jordan and I, man. Obviously he had Amanda, and I had a girl by the name of Ronica Jeffrey at the time, and Ronica, if nobody knows her,
I
she was
know her.
probably one of the most rounded female fighters that I've ever seen. Ever, 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 ever. I don't care about no. If she was around, she beat Katie Taylor. She would. Ronica was one of my favorite females to watch, just in general, right? And there was a little professional beef here and there, but I don't have no beef with Jordan. I think he did a great job with Amanda. He got her to a lot of titles. He did what a manager's supposed to do. He played Monopoly.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I still have a bunch of questions from the people. Those are all mine, but I'm going to go out to the people and see if they have anything. We do have a couple of posts for you. Danny, if you have anything while I get to that.
Come on,
Nah.
Danny. Shoot your shot. Go ahead.
Yo, I mean, you just said a lot that the shit I did have, I had a couple on tuck. You definitely threw me off, man. You definitely threw me off with the Rick just news to me. I honestly
Well, in the meantime, which
didn't
one
know.
was it? Which fight was it that made you, and were you already with your wife? Which one was it that made you guys decide? Let's go all in. Let's keep signing more women.
So it was she, because she would always do camps here in Philadelphia, and like I said, she quarantined here, and we never did nothing. We never even gave that close hug, never kissed, never nothing the whole time I managed her. But it was after the Candy Wyatt fight. It was after the Candy Wyatt fight. She fought. She won the WBA title. The next night, I flew to South Carolina for a Christy Martin card where we had Tika Hemingway fighting. And then Kaylee came back to the house, and I think it was November 11th. I can tell you the day it was. It was November 11th, and just something was different in camp. It was just a different type of vibe. And she's sitting on the couch. She was like, "Yo, you said you had something to tell me." And I said, "Yo," I said, I love you." She says, "I love you too." And then that was it. And then 14, 15 days later, I asked her mother and her brother for a hand in marriage at Thanksgiving, and then we got married a year later, November 27th. So that's how it happened.
That's amazing, but I was asking which fight was it that made you guys
Oh,
decide let's go all in on the managing aspect?
I mean, so
Dude,
you mean
because
me
there's
and her?
nobody like you. Like, truth be told, I don't know another even male manager that has this many fighters unless we're gonna compare you to Al and call you an advisor. So
Right,
I'm
right.
trying to figure out when did you start investing in your managing business? Because I mean, you just have a lot of big names. A
It,
lot
it
of them.
was it was honestly, man, it was back in the day when I had Melissa Hernandez. It was
Mm.
way before I started managing Kaylee, right? It was so I had Melissa Hernandez first, then I had Ronica Jeffrey, and then it just kind of snowballed. Then I got Alicia Napoleon, then I got a girl by the name of Jennifer Santiago, and it just started building. Then I started getting all the girls from New York, Keisha McLeod Wells, and it was centralized mainly to New York. And then
But
Melissa
how
St.
long
Ville.
ago was this? Because women's boxing, what that's my thing
He
is,
been
it
he
wasn't jumping. So like, what made you keep giving out contracts? How'd you know it was finally gonna pop off?
Oh, man, and there's a lot of people. That's a great question. I just felt that eventually it's going to catch on. I mean, I just had a feeling. I mean, it's one of those things, man. You just have a feeling, and I just had a feeling. And even if it didn't catch on, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my heart of hearts, I always, for as bad as some of these female athletes got treated, I felt good knowing that, in making them and helping to make them a world champion, nobody would ever be able to take that away from them. So it really wasn't seeing that long vision 10, 12 years down the line. It was honestly that tunnel vision right there and then to make them a world champion so nobody can take that away from them ever. Whether they have a kid next week, next month, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can ever take that away from them. So I just really that was my main reason, that, and again, having a daughter.
I got knockouts with Nika that says, why did Melissa pull out of the Metcalf fight the first time? It was scheduled days before. Just curious.
Sure. So there was a promotional issue. There was just a problem with the promoter. That was all. It was more of a paperwork issue than anything else. It wasn't so much Melissa being scared, or Sharita being scared. Sharita, I'll be honest with you, Sharita has been a professional through this whole process. Melissa was professional through the whole process. It was just a glitch in the paperwork in one of the promoters, contracts. That's all. It really that's the best way to describe it without saying too much.
Frank Steyer from Top Rank. Brian Cohen is an awesome, solid dude.
Frank is my man, man. He works for Top Rank, and as you know, Split T, I think we got like 14 or 15 guys signed with Top Rank, and I was the one from Split T that was going through the bubble the whole time, so I spent a lot of time with Frank, and Frank is a South Philly dude, man. His family lives around the corner here,
Oh yeah.
so
I know Frank from back in the day from ATG, bro, when he was doing podcasts.
yeah,
He
Frank
the
is a
one
good dude.
introduced me to Fury. He did that undefeated show. It was Fury versus Derek Chisora on his podcast. Long
Okay,
many
yeah,
many 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 years
bro.
ago.
He still claims to this day he was like they were never on the same show.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
But
I know that's how I found him.
right, that's how you remember him for sure.
But last question from Ruin of 504 New Orleans. He says, what will it take to make women's boxing more relevant?
I think it's growing legs every day, man. There's still some people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish Al Heyman would get on board. To be
Mm.
to be fair, so I really wish that every promotional company would get on board and don't see them as just another, like, a female fight and this, that, and the third. They're real athletes, man, and 8 times out of 10, they're the most exciting fights on the card. Bar none. You know what I mean? I just wish that a lot more promoters would invest into them the way I've invested my time and resources over the years, because you will see they grow a hell of a fan base. Like Leanna Cruz, man, getting back to her fan base is incredible. You go down like O'Shea Jones, she just fought in overtime. There was so many people there to see O'Shea, and that was in Atlanta. She's from Ohio. It's amazing. So a lot of these promoters should get behind them, and because they don't think there's money in women's boxing. There's a lot of money in women's boxing. You just gotta know how to get it and be patient.
Brian, women's
Uh oh.
boxing.
Hmm.
Who do you see as the face of it? Like, who do you think put boxing on television? And can that credit be given to two, or should it be given to two separate people? Like, I like to believe, like, obviously Clarissa has put American boxing on her back for women. but you got to give Katie Taylor some credit, right, for what she's been able to do and how globally she's done it. Like, we could give Clarissa all the credit, but is Katie putting on the bigger show, or am I wrong?
So again, you have to go back to the Christy Martins. You got to go back to the Ann Wolves. You got to go back to the Layla Ali's. You got to go back to the pioneers, Belinda Laracuente. You got the Melissa Hernandez's. You got to go back then. They were on TV. A lot of people don't know that. Then a lot of people think that it's a miracle that Serrano's fighting, 3 12-minute rounds. That was done already in the 80s. They fought 15 rounds one time,
No,
3
no, no,
minutes,
no.
female.
She fighting 12 3-minute rounds, not three
12,
12-minute rounds. That's some
yeah,
barbaric shit right there.
that
That's
is
old
barbaric
days.
shit. You're right.
Hey,
But
that's doghouse rules right there.
Floyd
yeah, you ain't
promotions.
lying about that shit. You're right. Thanks for the correction. Shit. Um, but it's been done before, right? So back in the day, they fought 3-minute rounds. 15 rounds. Females fought that before. And Sue Fox has that up on her website. But modern day, I mean, it kind of started with Katie Taylor. Clarissa is kind of neck and neck, man. And now I think you got Serrano, rounding the bend, and she's doing a lot of big things for women's boxing. But I mean, I think ultimately, because the stage that Eddie Hearn gave Katie Taylor, you would have to say Katie Taylor right now. And then, in my opinion, Katie, and this is nothing against Clarissa, because I think Clarissa's a hell of a talent. I mean, she's amazing. Anybody you put her in there with, she dominates, right? I just think it's Katie, Clarissa, Amanda right now. Now Amanda may take over, but you know what I mean. At what point?
Super duper last one, I swear.
No.
You having so many females, WBC has this hard stance on not wanting 3-minute rounds, not wanting 3-minute rounds, 12-round fights. They say that, they've done studies and the neck structure is different from a man, and they just don't want the women taking more punishment than they need to. But you're heavily invested in women's boxing. I've been to the conventions. I see women that want 3-minute rounds. What is your stance?
So I think the first thing to do, right, instead of bumping everything up to 3 minutes, 12, why don't you just? I think a good navigation tool would be going from a title fight, a 12-round title fight, 2 minutes, and then see if there's any ill effects or anybody has any ill effects from that, and then you monitor it for a couple years, then just bump them up to 3 minute 12, 3-minute rounds. But with that being said, a female doesn't have that much testosterone in their body like a male, man. They're not going to cause that much damage like a male. They're just not. It's just, you know what I mean? And anyway, a lot of the brain damage and a lot of the effects to the brain and the concussions and a lot of things happen during sparring, not necessarily happening in a fight. A fight obviously will agitate it, but some of these fighters do come into the fight concussed or with a slight bleed in their brain, and fighting, in an actual fight without a headgear and bigger gloves, obviously will agitate it. But I mean, just bump it to 12 rounds, 2 minutes.
Let
I
me
think you'll be fine.
let me ask you, because you kind of hit it on the head when you said that most of the damage is done in sparring. But bro, I'm in a lot of gyms. I can recall off the top of my head one woman that I've ever seen in my life spar 2 minutes. In my
So you
life.
so you should. So if you're going to Rick Ramos's gym, that's probably why. No,
I
I'm just
mean,
messing with
no,
you.
no. We're in Vegas, and yeah,
Yeah.
I have been to Rick's gym, but bro, I've been to gyms all over this country. I've never seen a woman spar a 2-minute round, with the exception of one, and it was actually a fighter that was getting ready to lose to Jessica. But that being said, it's like, bro, we were at the convention, and that was a big issue for me, hearing a lot of women say, well, I can't fight 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds, because I gotta cook for my kids. And it's like,
Right.
but you cooking for your kids after sparring 12 3-minute rounds, you
Yeah,
Right.
know.
some of the
Right.
women's excuse for no 3 minutes was real weak, bro. It was crazy.
Right.
But
I
look,
just
I'm
I,
not
I
a
just
woman.
wa-
I don't gotta take those
I just
punches.
wanted
So
your thoughts, and obviously you worked you work with fighters, so maybe it is different for your fighters. I'm just
So
curious.
so Ebony was here probably 2 months ago. So I take her to Bosie's gym, the dungeon.
Hmm.
Jerron Ennis's dad.
I've
He
been
has
to the
a
dungeon. They do 4 minutes there usually.
right, but you got to do a minimum of 4 rounds, 4 minute rounds, 30-second rests,
Mm.
right? So that's what I have Ebony spar. Ebony got in there, and it's tough, but you do it. But the only time you do, and that's more of a conditioning thing, when I'm training a fighter, maybe 2.5 weeks before a fight, I do cut it to 2 minute rounds during sparring because you'll get complacent doing 4 minutes, 3 minutes, right? That's more of a conditioning thing, right? You got to let your hands go in 2 minutes. So that's when you start shortening the rounds in training. And any boxing trainer or manager or whatever, advisor, whatever, every female should maybe 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks out should start fighting 2 minute rounds so they can get their hands off more because they'll already be in shape to get their hands off more. And you got to
Gotcha.
remember, yeah. So that's what I mean.
So
You can
it's
still
more of
do the
a
30-second rest. You can still
it's
do the 30-second rest, but you got to get your hands off. You know what I
Okay,
mean in
I
those two
got you.
minutes.
I got
Yeah,
you. No, that
yeah.
definitely look, that definitely makes sense, and that's the argument we've heard. Like Ness said, we've been to the conventions. We've heard both sides of it. The women for it and the women against it. But again, from my experiences, most of the, like you said, you go to a gym if that's what they're doing. That's what you do.
Right.
Um, but Ness, you got anything else?
That is it, Brian, man. I want to thank you, obviously, for your time and continue to wish you the best of luck in what it is that you're doing. I see you. You don't need it, man. You are the man in this women's boxing management game. And
I
we
appreciate you
thank you for
guys.
your story, brother.
Nah, man, I appreciate you guys, and just let me know when you guys want me back on. We could talk about Christina Linardatu and Alicia Bumgardner.
Wait, that's
I
right.
got
You had a lot to say on your Instagram, bro. You called her a cheater and everything. You don't believe anything because you don't find it strange. The Matchroom has their own testing, and that like I'm paying you to test. So why would you take those test results to anyone else other than the person you're paying that's paying you? Not to mention these test results keep popping up a month, 2 months later. That shit smells fishy, bro.
hey,
Fishy.
man, yeah, man. You know, when we sign a contract, it's everything is detailed in the contract. So maybe her management should have did a better job reviewing the contract. That's what
Who's her
I could say
manager?
to that.
Uh,
Uh, who knows, man? She got so many.
Nah, she been with the same dude.
Is it
Raynella.
Nelson?
Oh,
Yeah,
Ranello.
Nelson.
No, but he
Nelson.
claimed
Ranello.
Nelson.
no. But he claims not to be the man. He always claimed not to be the manager. Like
He's the only
so.
face I see there all the time.
Well, that's because he's the only one sticking his big head into the picture. That's why. That's why. So
Bro, you got
I'm gonna tell.
manager beef with everybody.
No. I don't. I'm gonna tell you what I got beef with. I'm gonna tell you, and then I'll let y'all go. I'll let y'all go. So she was signed to King's Promotions, which is a
Yes.
Pennsylvania-based. Okay. So I had a fighter named Melissa Saintville. Melissa Saintville was offered
From
to
New
fight
York.
with Terry. Correct, right? So, which she was offered like 6 title fights and just kept turning them down. She'd rather fight in some obscure bingo hall for $3,500, right? So the Terry Harper opponent fell out. So I offered it to Melissa. Melissa, no response. She's not mentally stable to fight. Whatever. So I called Marshall Kaufman, who's the president of King's Promotion. Hey Marshall, can we put is Alicia interested in this fight? Yeah, she's interested in the fight. This, that, and the third. Blah blah blah. So I get all the paperwork together. I get everything together. Do the deal with Eddie. Boom boom boom. She signs a provision of service agreement with me. So provision of service is obviously I have you for a certain amount of time and a certain percentage to your fights, right? Because again, I'm not an idiot. You know what I mean? Again, Monopoly, not chess or checkers. She signs it. I got a signed signature with her. I'm happy to share with everybody in the boxing world. And she takes the fight, obviously with Terry Harper, and boom, you see what happens, and then won't honor the agreement, which is fine. Which is fine. But then you go to Nelson. Oh, I'm not her manager. I'm her advisor. I'm not this. I'm not that. It is what it is, man.
But
But
why you don't
now,
just go to
honestly,
court? If you got an
you know,
agreement signed,
you know what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you want to let karma bite you in the ass, and I feel like she got bit in the ass with the Christina thing. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is there's going to be a civil suit. This is going to be the first civil suit filed against somebody that cheated like this. And we're going to file the suit either in Pennsylvania or New York. And Ms. Bumgarner is going to have to spend some lawyer fees against Miss Lenardatu for cheating the way she cheated. So,
But I mean, don't you have to wait to file some sort of lawsuit like that until she's completely
that's what that's what we're
because there's
doing,
still the
right?
B sample, right? And obviously the process, like it took 9. She peed in a cup
Yeah,
because
you
this
ain't.
ain't even blood. Like she peed in a cup. It took
Yeah.
9 days to get to the testing facility. I
Mm.
mean, this is the strangest case I've ever seen in boxing in 13 years that I've been doing this.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, when you fighting in when you fight in the UK, yo man, the UK they right there, they drawing blood, everything is official. You're in Detroit. I'm gonna tell you something, and this is nothing to the fighters in Detroit. That commission is the shittiest commission. It was some third world country commission shit. Nobody watched the wrapping of the hands. There was no inspectors. They don't even have a commissioner right now.
So why
Like
is
it's
your lawsuit pointed at Bumgarner and not at the commission?
And isn't Eddie the one that chooses the testing, not the commission? He's the one that pays for it.
Eddie chooses the testing, but that's also in your fight contract. So she's seen who was testing. It wasn't VADA. It wasn't
Right,
anything
I
like
heard
that.
that she wanted VADA though. I heard
Yeah,
she
well,
requested VADA and they gave her this whatever this new company is. Not new because they
then
do football.
right, but she didn't want to pay for the VADA testing. She wanted the promotion to pay for it. So whatever the promotion opted to pay for is what they pay for. You know what I'm saying? So
How much is VADA in your opinion? Because we hear different things. We've had Victor Conti say 11 to 15. I've heard fighters say 30. Have you paid for
So
VADA for any of your fighters? And what have you have to
nah.
pay?
If VADA testing is ever brought up in any type of contract, I don't have any of my fighters. You know, they can all test for it, but we're not paying for it. It's a promoter's job. It's under the inks of the promotion to pay
Wait a
for it. It shouldn't
minute.
come out.
So that's what she wanted, the promoter to pay for VADA.
But when you have beef with your promoter ain't gonna pay for it. You gotta play nice, man.
yo, but you
You
don't
got
find that weird that now Eddie Hearn is saying that moving forward for every matchroom show, the main event at a minimum is gonna be VADA, and everybody's gonna be VADA, and how there was
They're moving away from the old
yeah.
testing facility, obviously.
because of probably how long it took for them to get the samples there. Probably at this
Exactly.
point, you know what
Now,
I'm saying. I mean, I get it. I'm
Brian,
not saying. Listen,
do you
go ahead.
know? Do you know? Because this is just what I've been told from people from VADA. So I know that fight wasn't VADA, but hear me. So people from VADA have told me that WADA protocol, which is what drug-free sport is supposed to be under, is to ship the sample overnight shipping. Do you believe? Do you know that to be true? And do you believe, if that's the case, that there could be
Contamination.
you know, because it did take 9 days for the sample to make it to the lab.
You know what, man? I don't know the delay, but what I do know is this: the night of the fight, Christina gave her sample, right? I know Christina gave her sample, and the lady, I guess, she was in charge. She was in charge of the other, the girl that was taking Bumgarner's sample, and she kept getting phone calls saying that there was an issue upstairs with her giving the sample. So that's all I know. You could speculate whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe she just couldn't piss. I don't know, right? But I know Christina peed real quick. Boom, boom, boom. She took the sample. She goes, guys, is it okay if I leave you because I have to go upstairs? There's a big issue upstairs. I don't know what the big issue was. To be fair to Alicia.
And that would have been the clean sample, right? You're saying the night of the fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that
Okay.
might have been the clean sample. So I don't know, man. But like I said, if everything does come out dirty, that hopefully that title does splinter. Once it splinters, I got a lot of options. I mean, if you look right now, I know Carla Torres doesn't have the most sparkly record, but if you look at her last 3 opponents, she should be in line for a title. Tiara Brown should be in line for a title. El Hamikim should be in line for a title. So I'm trying to stack the pond at 126 and 130.
So what's up with Samara Woods, man? I've been following her before you picked her up. I'm glad to see you picked her up. I see she split with her man, so she might be focused. Because ever since that departure, she started fighting. She turned pro. So I don't know if the boyfriend was holding her back.
You know what, man? I don't know that whole situation. I just know, she lives in Allentown. She has
Oh,
a
she
good coach.
moved. No, you see, she moved. She was from Florida.
Yeah. So she's in Allentown now. She actually trains at the same gym, not the same trainer as Leanna.
Hmm.
So no, man, she's focused. I met with her. I met her son. I met the trainer. I met the trainer's wife, and that's how I like keeping it, man. I like having that. I like having that personal, so they can call me if they need something, or if the trainer has a concern, they can call me. I'm not just one of these managers. Yo, I'm gonna sign a bunch of people. You know what I mean? And then that's it. They don't hear from me. I'm not. I'm just not that guy. I like to check in with people. You know what I mean?
We've been said last one, but I found your post, so I want your thoughts on this post here, because you obviously called her a liar. You're going as far as saying, why would you take the juice? Put a little juice box.
Yeah, a little juice box. That's right. Because I seen the first fight when she fought Christina. The first fight, it looks like she was dancing a merengue with her, man. Like all she did was hold for the last 2 rounds. Then all of a sudden she's you know what I'm saying? She's built like a bodybuilder, and a lot of people that have done bodybuilding knows that steroid that she was popped for, knows what it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's it just was real. The fight
So
was real different. And
you've talked to people in terms of like bodybuilding and people in that
yeah,
world. So I reached out to a good friend of mine, Victor Conti, and he was
yeah,
like, "Yo," he's like, anybody, because the way I look at it, nobody's gonna know about cheating better than a cheater. So I reached out to my good friend Vic, and I'm like, "Yo, what you think about this?" He's like, anybody with the slightest idea would have never told her to take your fight week because that shit's gonna be in your system, for a
right,
while. Have you
right.
been told the same, or like what are your people telling you, or like from what you're hearing?
No, literally, I've been told the same exact thing. But I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if she has a bunch of rocket scientists lined up around her either. So you don't know. I mean, you
Mm.
don't know if she knew or whoever was giving it to her possibly knew. You know what I'm saying? So some people just, some people just take it just to take it. I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I always liked Alicia until she started acting brand new. I always liked Nelson until he started acting brand new. And the only reason why they started acting brand new is because I was the one that got them the shot at the title, and that's it.
Two
Um,
things. Um, when you brought up her performances, obviously the first time she lost to Leonardo, that was a long time ago. She's
mhm,
since then, you know,
Change trainers.
changed trainers and just, gotten better. You can't,
mhm.
like, do we not believe it could just be she leveled up?
It could be. That's what I'm saying. It could possibly be, but even if she did level up, did she level up without a performance enhancer or without a performance enhancer? Because over a certain amount of years, you learn certain things. Obviously, you get better, right? I became a better driver from when I was 16, 17, right? You, you know what I'm saying? You can always get better. You can always improve. I just remember that night she had Sugar Hill in her corner. Sugar Hill's a hell of a trainer. You know what I mean? When she fought Leonard Datu the first time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm anxious to see how this all unfolds. I hope she wasn't cheating because it's kind of going to destroy her professionally. And I think she already took a hit with it as far as sponsorships goes and whatnot. I don't wish nothing bad on nobody. To be fair, especially her. You know what I mean? I like Alicia. You know what I'm saying? We had dinner together, me, her, my wife, David Diamante when we were in England before. But yeah, man, I hope she's keeping it clean. To be fair.
So as of right now, you haven't filed any petition, any for a no contest, nothing with the commissions of Detroit for your fight at Leonardo.
So, on behalf of Leonard Datu's promotional team, DeBella Entertainment, they have filed a motion to turn it into a no contest since she is suspended by the Association of Boxing Commission. But the problem is in Detroit, there's no commissioner right now. So we're actually going through the commission lawyer because Detroit doesn't have a commissioner. So
How long do you think this process would take?
it all depends on the commission, man. If you did it in PA and Greg Serb would have that shit done in probably 3.5 hours. Now, like I said, dealing with commission, I ain't never seen a commission like that, man. And I fought in some third world countries. I never seen such a horrible commission in my life. In my entire life. It was terrible fighting there. It was. It was unsafe. The thing is, man, they have you do all these medicals and these eye tests and these physicals and these blood tests, and it's just not a safe fighting environment. Nobody's watching their hand wraps. The inspectors in the corners are looking into the crowd, talking to people. Nobody's paying attention to anything. So, their focus should be on the safety of the fighter, man, and it's not. And again, this is no disrespect to any fighter in Detroit. It was just a shitty place to fight at.
I gotta double back, Brian. I gotta double back. I need a better answer because you're like, I got a contract. She signed it. I got her the
Yeah,
Terry Harper fight. Like, as a fight fan, her life changed after Terry Harper. How
yeah.
do you not feel you are owed? You gave her a life changing opportunity that rocket. What is it? What's the word phrase I'm looking like? It catapulted her career.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm just
Karma's
waiting
not a
for
good
it.
enough answer for me. I need more, please.
So, when you put money into stock, the
Mm-hmm.
stock it'll accrued interest, right?
Yep.
Maybe I'm just waiting for the right time for it to accrue the right amount of interest before I pull the trigger.
Mm. Well, on that note, Brian, please give out your social media. We appreciate you so much. I'm sorry we took so long with this interview. It looks like we went a
Um,
little bit over an hour and some change, but it was a pleasure, man, listening to you. We have over 900 people watching live here on YouTube and around the world, simulcasting on iHeart and TuneIn and all those many great places. So they enjoyed it. A lot of people,
okay.
like me, that we didn't know you. We just know this
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
with all these great fighters.
yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you guys giving me the platform. Anytime you guys want to do it again, please, man. I know it was a little difficult because of my travel schedule, and I apologize for that. Anytime you guys want me to jump on, I'm happy to help out,
Yeah, we're gonna set
in
up
any
that
way
Rick
possible.
Ramos virtual press conference. I can't believe Rick ducked me. I even
Yo,
tweeted.
set it
I
up.
even tweeted like, "Yo, where's Rick at?" Cause
Yo,
y'all
because
Yeah,
go
nah,
he,
go
I
to
saw it
our
too.
Twitter. Because this is live. So like, it's people on Twitter Spaces. Everybody's like, Rick, where you at? This guy's talking about Rick. Usually Rick is in the chat. Usually Rick is WhatsApping me. Where you at, Rick? I want your side
listen,
of the story. You better not give it to nobody else.
I would love for you to do a little virtual him and I on the same show, and then that'll set up our little charity fight that we could. Well, I'll do it. We could do it in his gym. I don't care where
Mm.
we do it. We'll do it in his
Wait, but
gym.
what's your
We could,
weight class? Cause you looking like a
man.
heavyweight, champ.
No, so I actually turned pro at 135. I fought at 54. I won the one. I think it was either 168 or 75 Continental American title. I mean, I'm short. I'm short as shit. I'm like 5'6" on a good day. You know what I mean? 5'7" with Tim's. It don't matter. Whatever weight he wants to fight at, I can either come up or go down to. I'll fight my stunt double, man. I would love to do it for charity. If there's any charitable organizations, they can reach out to you guys or whatever. We could just raise some money and then he could wear, big headgear with the bar on it. I won't
What we
wear any.
gotta do before you get this fight, you got to get to BoxRec and tell them change that picture. This doesn't look like you at all.
No, no.
At all. I
So,
mean, this is
so,
my
so,
impression of you. When I'm looking for you, this is who I thought you were. You don't even have
mm,
those wrinkles on your forehead. The hair is
no,
not the same. You obviously
no.
don't use those glasses. What's going on?
So what happened?
You looking like Steven Seagal in this picture, man.
So check this out. That was the picture they used when I got into the fight with Eddie Hearn on stage. When I told him don't get cute with me.
Damn, you
I'm
got
not the
into a
one.
fight with Eddie too? Holy
It
shit,
was
this interview never gonna end.
again, you disrespect my fighters. I got issues. So we did the press conference, and I'm gonna finish up with this, man. I'm sorry for going over so
Nah,
long. I
nah, it's all
apologize to
good.
all your listeners and viewers and stuff like that. But Christina was fighting Katie Taylor, and he wouldn't give out a rematch clause, and so we were still working out the contract when they wanted to do the press conference. She flew in from Greece. I flew in from Philadelphia. When I seen her, she's crying because she wanted to fight. Obviously, it was for great money. She couldn't turn it down. But to see my fighter cry, so when I got on stage and he started making little funny jokes, I told him, "Don't get quirky with me. Don't get cute because I'm not the one." And then everything got quiet and You know what I'm saying? But now, like I said, that's what that picture was from. To be honest with you, I don't know why they got that one up there. I'm gonna change that, John.
Rick has the youth though, Brian. I don't know. You think you're gonna open up a favorite?
I will take him to the deep waters and drown his little stupid fucking ass.
What wait? We need to wait because we got to get all the particulars away.
My brother, I'm an athlete. Whatever fight, whatever weight, I'm certified in nutrition, personal training. I will get down or go up to any weight that my man wants to go at. It doesn't matter. If he says the fight is at 154, I'll be eating lettuce downstairs as soon as this fucking interview was over.
Wait, can your wife make his wife's weight?
All day, twice on Tuesdays.
Oh shit! I love it. I love it. A double exhibition in Chicago. Let's bring it back to the city. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's bring it back. Let's bring
All
it
right,
back.
man. Well, Brian, we
All right, guys.
appreciate you. This has been a fantastic interview, man. Thank you so much.
Guys, I appreciate you both, man. Thank you for what you do for giving me the platform and let me express my story and my feelings to everybody. I'm hope I wasn't too long-winded for everybody.
Nah, it was great, bro. I'm gonna be getting messages about this for weeks.
All right, brother.
Thank you,
Appreciate you guys.
There you
All
have
right.
it, ladies and
Family,
gentlemen.
don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.